Okay, so now I just want to go over what you're going to be handing in for Module 2. There's Module 2 practice problems and assignment number 2. So let's look at the practice problems first. During lecture tonight, we went over every one of these examples, okay? So you should have, at the very least, a really good start on each one of those, hopefully kind of done with all of those. And you are going to then be handing in screenshots for each one of these. Now, you all used AutoCAD, for your vector diagrams. Make sure you label each vector, A, B, C, D, R, J, whatever it might be. Add arrowheads to all of your vectors. Identify the vector equation in each case. Make sure that I can see where the origin is, and also scale your dimensions so I can see it in the screenshot. Okay. So when you do your screenshot, make sure when you're uploading it, check it. If it's blurry or if I can't see those values, I'm sorry. I can't read it. I can't give you credit. Okay. So make sure it's readable. So those are those. And then add to it, what are 2 things that you learned in this module? And what are 2 things that you feel like you still need some more practice? Okay. I'll change up the questions next time. These are getting boring. All right. So any questions on the practice problems? All right. Then let's look at assignment number 2. Assignment number 2. There are quite a few questions here, but again, you're going to find that they kind of overlap a little bit. So at the end of chapter 3 is where we are going to find these problems. So your first problem is going to be 320. You go underneath here. 320 is on page 69. 320 is right here. And it says, for the vectors shown right here, A and B, graphically determine the resultant A plus B. So R is equal to A plus B. Here is your equation. Here is each one of those vectors in their scaled form. So you're going to be going through that very same process that we did, earlier this evening. Okay. So that's 320 vector addition. And then you've got 323, 3 vectors. You're going to be adding A plus B plus C is going to be equal to R. And then the other vector addition that you have is going to be number 25. Here we have 4 vectors to add together. Okay. I'm not sure why. I think it's a typo. It says ES here, but it's just E is our vector. So if you're wondering what the S means, I don't know either. All right. So that's 25. Any questions on vector additions? All right. Then you're going to notice that we're going to do 1 vector subtraction. So the vectors, or this first vector subtraction is going to be J is equal to A minus B. Okay. And you're going to be using then the figure 320, which was problem 320. So these 2 right here. So technically you've got these drawn already, and then you're just going to do an A minus B for that one. Turning the page. Okay. The next one we're going to do is 344. This is using figure 323. We're going to do C plus A minus B. So that one again, the base vectors are going to be what you already drew, but you're just going to determine J using this equation. And then using that very same figure again, you're going to use those same vectors, but this time it's going to be K is equal to B minus A minus C. All right. Remember, the way that we're doing these is to add the negative value. Okay, so tip to tail process wise, and then you're going to change the arrowhead and label it as its negative version. And then you're going to notice that you're going to use figure 325, which you already drew the base vectors for, and you're going to do a J is equal to C plus A minus B plus D minus E. And then you're also going to do 49, which is this equation here. Okay. Then you've got 2 more. The last 2, number 58, you've got 5 vectors, 2 of which are missing magnitudes. Here's your base equation, and you want to determine the directions of all of the vectors, or I'm sorry, the directions of all the vectors and the magnitudes. So directions of, magnitude and direction for the 3, but then you need to find the magnitudes for C and E. Okay. And then rearrange as needed. Yeah. So here's your base equation, but if you need to move things around, feel free to do so. Just make sure you identify the equation on how you add and or subtract as your final for what you drew. And then the last one is going to be 59, which is similar to 58. We've got two unknown magnitudes. You're going to solve that based on the base equation that we see there. Okay, so that is all of module 3. The rest of the time that we have together, I'm here to be available to answer questions. So I'm going to stop the recording at this time.